coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yep.
Hello, welcome to Talk CDL. Hey, you know, I was thinking about...
What were you thinking
I
about?
was thinking about truck drivers.
No, that's kind of non-surprising.
I was thinking, how many of them actually cook in their truck?
I think that lately there's been more cooking in their truck than there used to be.
I wanna help them out with a recipe.
Alrighty.
No, because you know I like to cook.
Oh, yes, you do.
Okay, now if I was back on the road, here's what I would do. If I didn't have a crock, what's that little one that actually says crock, like mini crock, or it's like this little crock they sell at Walmart.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's like 3 different size crock pots.
So you get yourself a crock. Now, if you're just a single guy going down the road, you don't need a real big crock.
No.
And you want to, you know, to me, I'm thinking straps, like some kind of a strap, bungee. I want my crock to be nice and still. So somehow I'm gonna crock it, bungee it, Velcro it. I want it to be nice and sturdy going down the road. So a piece of beef or a piece of pork, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all you need is salt and pepper. You do not need anything else. And you want a simple recipe. And I'm talking grandma's recipe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like I've been to people's houses where they make a roast and they put all kind of stupid seasonings on it, and it doesn't even taste like a beef roast.
No, it loses its actual flavor of the beef.
Right. So drivers, listen to me. Piece of beef. And chuck roast is the best roast there is on the market. It stays juicy, it stays tender, and it's better than any beef roast there is. It's my favorite. So you get a chuck roast or a pork butt, okay? Part of a pork butt. An onion. Now, being that if you're single, you're not going to make this gigantic, so half an onion for a small piece, okay? Potatoes. And don't skin them, don't peel them. Just cut them up in like cubes or, you know, 4s. A couple potatoes, a couple carrots, and that's it. Salt, pepper. And then you take a couple cups of water and you put that in and you set it and you forget it. And I promise you, if you do this about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and your rig is going to smell like grandma's house by about 10, 11 o'clock. You remember going to grandma's, you know, on a Sunday for dinner, okay? You went over there and she had like this big spread ready. Well, it's the same thing. All you got to do is do what I just said. Crock, piece of meat, a piece of onion, potatoes, carrots, celery if you want it, right? And a little bit of water. Turn it on. You can just turn it on medium. And within 3 hours, 2 hours, your truck is going to smell like you're going to grandma's. I promise you. It's going to bring back memories. And you're going to write to me and you're going to say, thank you, Troy. I was at grandma's today. 1,000 miles away from home.
Mm-hmm. No, that's actually a really good recipe, though. You could use the potatoes and the carrots in it. If you don't want to do that, you could always just do do that. And then if you wanted to add, I had a brain fart. I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know, but normally what I do is I do the roast and then I'll boil potatoes and make mashed potatoes. But in your truck, you're not going to boil
No, you
potatoes.
don't have to do that. I mean, you don't. I mean, some might want to do it that way. But what I was going to say is you don't have to have like a whole bunch of potatoes and a whole bunch of carrots. You could just use a potato and like a carrot.
A potato or two. You know, if you got your wife with you, like usually it's 1 potato per person.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the actual measurement is 1 potato per person. And like not like one of those gigantor potatoes, but just like a regular gold potato, you know, or a red potato. They really go good in pot roast like that.
Yes, they do.
But if you have like one of those little double burners, you have one sitting in the shelf in the garage where we could actually plug it in. And
yeah, the electric burner.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you could boil and make yourself mashed potatoes. The other thing is, if you do have a little burner, you take that juice out, right?
Do some gravy.
Exactly. I like cornstarch.
Well, cornstarch is better for gravies than flour or anything like that.
And listen, drivers, if you ever want to hire me as a personal chef as you're coming through Florida, I could set it up and I'll jump in your truck, make the dinner. You give me a tip, I'm out of there. What do you think kind of tip they'll give me?
Well, it depends. Don't pet a burning dog is your favorite.
Or don't step on Superman's cape. Anyways.
I was going to say open-faced sandwiches. Nothing's better than a hot roast beef open-faced sandwich.
Anyways, I don't know why I felt the need to give a cooking lesson to the truckers. So there you have it.
There it is.
Cook away. I'm serious. And I'll tell you what, drivers, you'll get healthier if you start cooking more in your truck. And by the way, that meal will turn into about 2 or 3 microwavable meals after your meal cools, because you're not going to eat the whole thing.
Well, that's why I was saying you don't have to have, like, if you go and get one of those little pork roasts, like the little pieces of chuck, you could actually cut it in half and get 2 meals out of it, at least 2 or 3, depending on how big the piece is.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my little...
Don't forget your veggies.
Don't forget the veggies. All right. Moving on. Do you think like some of them were going, this is a boring part? I bet you there's some of them out there going, awesome, man, I'm going to do that.
There's at least one person out there saying, that was a great idea. I'm going to try that.
Because let's be honest about one thing. Can we be honest? And you know it's coming, right?
Yes.
What are the majority of truckers, men or women?
Men.
93% are men.
Mm-hmm.
Who makes the better cooks?
Well, actually...
Men.
I mean, statistically, you want to say men because they found that is statistic as far as like your professional chefs are generally men versus women. Women do it all the time at home, so they don't generally go out to do it as a profession.
Right, but even at home, like when most husbands are better cooks than their wives, and it's just a fact.
No, I'm not going to admit to that.
Well, I'll admit it. But anyways.
Well, we already know that.
But I'm just saying though, like since most men are better cooks and men love cooking, it's not a woman thing. Cooking is not a woman, especially the barbecue.
It's never a man or a woman thing.
So with that being said, I think a lot of them were probably interested in my recipe. I might start giving out recipes.
You know, I got to tell you something that Becca said to me earlier.
What's that?
When we were driving home and I asked you, I said, hey, listen, we're about to pull up. Come, would you run out and help carry stuff in? And you go, sing to me. Right? So I started singing a song and you said, sing to my ego. And Becca goes, at least he admits he has one.
Okay. With that being said, let's move on.
Moving on.
All right, let's take a quick break. At Spectrum Insurance and TruckingInsuranceGuy.com, we deliver fast, reliable, and affordable trucking insurance built for owner-operators and fleets alike. I used to be an owner-operator myself, so I know what matters on the road. Whether you're running cross-country routes or making local deliveries, we tailor your coverage to meet DOT requirements and keep your rig rolling. From liability and cargo to physical damage and more, we've got your back. Need a quote? Visit TruckingInsuranceGuy.com, or if you prefer to talk, call our Spectrum team for expert advice and unbeatable services at 507-884-1312. That's 507-884-1312, where there's always a human answering a phone. For over 20 years, Sumar Financial has been a trusted partner for owner-operators and small carriers, providing fast, flexible, and transparent freight factoring solutions that keep businesses rolling. Here's why truckers choose Sumar. Number 1, same-day payments. Number 2, if a broker doesn't pay, Sumar takes the loss. Zero risk for you. Number 3, no reserve plan. Get all your money up front with no hidden final payouts. Number 4, no long-term commitment. Try Sumar with no minimum volume requirements or long-term contracts. Number 5, fuel card program with top savings. The best network in the country, flexible payment methods, and IFTA support. With fast, hassle-free payments, technology-driven solutions, dedicated account executives, no surprises, no hidden fees. Trust Sumar Financial to get your invoices paid today. And when we say paid today, we mean paid today. For more information and to learn about Sumar, go to landings.sumar.com/talkcdl. That's landings.summar.com/talkcdl. If you're a driver looking for a new trucking job, check out NCI. NCI offers the following: new Kenworth T680s, competitive wages, solo, team, and students welcome, plus a full benefit package for you and your family. Check them out today at 888-311-7076. That's 888-7076. And tell them Talk CDL sent you. All right, we're back. Something I was just reading earlier. 88,000 trucking companies, which, a lot of them are small, have gone out of business since 2023. Actually, in the year of 2023, they just got the stats. 23 was the bad year. And 24 was a bad freaking year, too.
And that was the year of recuperating after COVID. Like, that's after, like, the big hits with it, right? Like, because people, like, was it 22 that, like 2021 or something like that. So 22 people were trying to get back, and it's just financially a lot of companies couldn't pull it back together. Is that what?
Well, financially, most of them were bozos and didn't do well with their money, first off. Usually trucking companies go out of business because of bad management. Mm-hmm. You had too many companies when the big boom happened in 20, when all the truckers were sitting at home. Truck drivers sat at home collecting, not all truckers, but a lot of them did. They sat home for that year collecting stimulus checks. And that enabled a lot of your companies, especially Chicago companies, to come in and build these big companies, okay, and pay these really good rates at the time. And they crashed, basically, because they were counting on broker loads. That's really what it was. And then when the stimulus checks went away in 23, all the truck drivers that were sitting at home were forced to come back to work. Well, at the same time, the supply chain went down.
That's what I was kind of meaning. That's what I thought.
Right. So you had this perfect storm. The supply chain went back down. Truckers were brought back to work. And I think that actually happened in 22. And we've been just bailing out, or everybody's been trying to survive ever since. And so you've got 80,000 companies, they said, in the year 2023 alone went out of business. 8,000 brokers, which I don't care about the brokers, to be honest with you. But they all crashed and burned. And these were derelicts that were just in it. A lot of them were companies that came in. And then there was also a lot of companies that, were around that couldn't survive. Like
those fly-by-night companies where they just come in quickly to try and make that quick buck. And
yeah, but then you had companies like Davis. They couldn't hang in there. They just went out of business. So you had a mix of everything, but the economy really hurt a lot of places. But here's the thing. We needed those. I was talking to a company about a year and a half ago. And this guy knew what he's talking about. And he said the industry needs, he had said about at least 100,000 companies have to go out of business or nobody will survive. And so you have at least that now. I mean, I don't even know how many went out of business in 22. I don't know how many total for 24. But well over 100,000 total.
Right, between all those years.
So with that being said, it's balancing itself out. I was talking to a company today. He said, totally getting busy. Everybody's starting to get busy. It really, if you look around, everybody is now starting to hire again. Freight is picking up. Most companies I was talking to Cemex. You know who Cemex is?
Yeah.
They have 50,000 employees. And they obviously produce Cemex or cement rather.
People like to say Cemex instead of Cemex.
Right. They produce cement, and it's a friend of mine that's he's like one of the guys over one of the local facilities here in Florida. And he said, I forget how many millions, just their facility alone, he told me, is ahead compared to last year.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he said we can't keep up. And so they're hiring. So I would tell all these truck drivers, I just wanted to give everybody a little encouragement that, you know, there's a lot of drivers that couldn't get work for the last 6 months. I know a lot of them. And I would tell you guys out there, you know, it's coming now. I've been telling everybody it's coming. The good times are coming back, Lord willing. And people are hiring now. So hang in there, guys. Any one of you drivers that couldn't get work in the last 6 months, it's coming back. You know, just keep watching, and I'm telling you, it's coming back fast. It's actually coming back really good now. So, just thought I'd bring that up. You know, 80,000. That's a lot of companies to go out. But again, and look, here's the thing: if you're a company, if you form a trucking company, and your whole plan is to work with the brokers, you're already losing. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're already losing. Don't get me wrong. In 2020, everybody had opportunity to make a crap ton of money. And hopefully there's guys that saved, and there's a lot of guys that didn't, and there are companies that didn't. That's why they went out of business. But if you're coming into today's trucking and you're going to rely on broker spot market freight, I would tell you not to do it. Again, I keep telling drivers, it still isn't a good time to be on the spot market. My thing would be, if you're looking to be an owner-operator, find somebody that has contracts and steady work for you. Don't go for any of those companies that are promising you, all right, the big giant dollar. Anybody that's promising a truck driver the big dollars right now, you're getting lied to. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to know it because your buddies and everybody's going to be saying, hey, go over to this company because, man, look at my paychecks. People are going to know just because word of mouth is going to be going on fire. But I had a driver call me the other day. He's looking to get a job, home weekends, lease purchase, and he's in Georgia. I said, dude, what are you, crazy? Where does that exist? Oh, they're out there. I said, no, they're not. If they are, there's 10 million people already in line for it. You're not going to find a Southeast regional home weekend lease purchase right now where you actually make good money.
Well, you don't want to be home every weekend if you're lease purchasing. You're not going to be making enough money to pop some away. You'd be barely making it on a week-to-week basis if you're trying to get home every weekend.
I mean, there's been times where the market bears it, where drivers can get home weekends and make a decent living. They're not going to get rich, but they can make a good living.
Lease purchasing, though?
Yeah, there's been times where, like, you know, the drivers are netting like $1,500 to $2,000 and, you know, running 4 and 5 days a week. And I'm talking about a lease purchase, not you being an owner. You know, we have friends that are owner operators. They're home every day. They put $3,000-$4,000 in their pocket, but it's their own truck. It's their own trailer. They have a gig set up, you know, doing certain things. But as a lease purchase, the overhead's too high. You're right. You're not going to, if you're looking to make really, really good paychecks, you're not going to do it and get home every 4 or 5 days. And if there's a job out there, you better keep it a secret because everybody's going to want it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I told everybody this a couple of weeks ago. I said, just go on Craigslist, go on Indeed, try to look for jobs that are local, home every day or home every weekend that are paying really good. And look in the big cities. Right now, you don't even see hardly any, which tells you that the market is not back enough for it to happen. It is coming back pretty fast, but those jobs are going to be the last ones to start. That's all I wanted to say. I started out saying 80,000 companies went out of business, and here I am talking about this, but it's so true. And you know, guys, just keep watching. It's getting better. Like we all said it was gonna, obviously. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Anyways, moving on. Should we move on?
Moving on. Attention trucking companies and truck drivers. If you need help with cash flow, we've got help on the way. Turn to Tab Bank, the bank that knows trucking. Tab Bank has been in the business of helping truck drivers and trucking companies with their cash flow needs for 25 years. It's just that simple. It's what they do. But they don't stop there. Tab Bank helps grow your business with their invoice, factoring, and banking services. What a plus that is. Before you book your next load, play it safe and contact Tab Bank to get their help with your factoring needs. Tab Bank helps determine the credit worthiness of your customers as well as billing and collection efforts on invoices that you factor with them. Let the experts at Tab Bank get you cash quickly for the loads you deliver. Again, it's what they do. Visit tabbank.com/talkcdl to learn more. That's tabbank.com/talkcdl. Tab Bank member FDIC.
Truck Parking Club is a network of instantly reservable daily and monthly truck parking locations throughout the U.S. Truck Parking Club helps connect truckers to truck parking locations throughout the U.S. via truckparkingclub.com. Our networks is made up of property owners that have locations adequate for truck parking to list on the platform. This includes trucking companies, storage companies, CDL schools, trailer leasing companies, real estate investors, truck parking operators, and more. Go to truckparkingclub.com today. Something else I want to talk to you about. Side hustles. I was thinking about drivers. Well, listen to this. Well, let me tell you why I thought of this.
Okay, because I'm like, when you said side hustle, the first thing I thought of is a truck driver with the back door open to his truck saying, come and see what I got here. So
No, I don't mean he's a hooker.
I didn't say hooker.
No, what I'm saying is, recently I've been talking to trucking companies, and which I'm always in touch with a lot of companies. They call me. A lot of different places call us.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, before I say this, a lot of you were emailing us trying to get on the show. We are trying to get everybody booked. I'm sorry for all those that are asking, but we're really booked up. Okay, so but stay patient, and we're going to get you on video and on the show. I promise you that. As long as you're not boring. But anyways, the reason I wanted to talk about side hustles, a couple companies have told me that incredibly there's a swarm of retired drivers trying to come back into the industry. And I actually took a phone call recently from a driver, called in, and he's looking to get work, but people, I guess he feels that, well, it's not that he feels discriminated against. He just feels it's really tough because of his age. And this guy was 88 years of age.
Oh, my gosh.
Super nice guy. And I'm never talking. He's like, man, I'm having a hard time. I'm like, well, he really blew my mind because, you can guess people's ages,
mm-hmm.
By their voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so then he tells me, he goes, yeah, I'm 88. I'm trying to come. I retired 2 years ago. Right. I'm like, what'd you say? You're how old? He goes, 88.
And he retired at his 86.
Right. He stopped driving in his mid 80s. And I said to him, oh, no, it wasn't that he stopped driving. I apologize. This is a different guy. This guy, he had to get a hip replacement or something, right? Or obviously, when you're in your 80s, things are going to start needing an overhaul.
Yeah, right.
So anyways, the poor guy, it was only last year, he got out of the truck. He was with this company for quite a long time. And then when he got ready to come back, they said, yeah, we already put somebody in your truck. Wink, wink. But the whole thing was, I'm seeing a lot of these guys, and this isn't the only guy that's having a problem getting work. A lot of them have come back in their 70s and in their 80s because they're having a hard time with inflation. Like I'm not kidding you. I'm not saying a little bit. This is a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like there's this, and a lot of these guys are listening to us right now saying, yeah, because we've been hearing about it for the last so many months. Mm-hmm. It's like this crazy, it's funny how you see trends. in every industry. And right now, this is one of the trends where a lot of old bucks are trying to come back into the industry. And I would tell you guys, it's not going to be easy, especially like the one guy I was talking to. He hadn't driven in almost 3 years. And I told him, I said, look, even if you weren't, he was like mid-70s. I said, even if you weren't in your 70s, you haven't driven in almost 3 years. Most companies, their insurance need to see, at least 6 months or a year of driving in the last 3. And we were talking, and he's like, well, I can drive circles around these young guys. I'm like, I don't doubt that you could. The problem is insurance isn't going to insure you. So if you're a driver in your 70s and you're wanting to come back, you may really consider, how much time do you have driving in the last 3 years? Because you might not qualify just based on that, not your age.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, and a lot of these old guys told me, they said, listen, I know they're not, I guess you can call it discriminating, but if we're being honest, I feel bad for these guys. You're in your 70s, your golden years. You're supposed to be not, beating yourself up now going down the road. You're retired and you're forced to come back because of money.
It's a shame, but I do know that the Social Security and the retirement money that a lot of people are getting right now is not letting them make ends meet. I mean, I know a lot of people that, they're getting, they had a decent type of job, when they did work. It's not like they didn't do anything. They worked at I'm trying to think what the name of the word, like just say like a nurse, like something that was not something they had to go to school with and get a degree, not like it was just, your department store or something like that. And the Social Security that they are getting is from working that type of job, like a job with a degree, is still so low that it's not going to pay for a monthly expenses for a decent living. You know what I mean? If they didn't own their own house or anything like that still.
Well, Social Security was never designed for a retirement. It was never designed to support you. It's just a couple dollars you get. Nobody can survive on that unless you own everything and do nothing but sit in your house and eat dog food. Here's the side hustles I was talking about.
Alrighty.
So when I was driving the 1 year, I was at the Detroiter. I was in the parking lot, and I'm sitting in my truck, and there was a guy on the CB saying, "Hey, I sharpen knives." It's what he did. He had a side hustle. I think I paid him like $5 or $10. I had a switchblade, I think, at the time, and he sharpened it. I mean, to where you could honestly split a hair, like perfect, beautiful, thing. And so what I was thinking is that'd be really cool to start suggesting that to drivers. Even if you put a little cardboard sign in your window while you're parked at a truck stop, advertising your talent. Like I sharpen knives, shine shoes, whatever. There's all kind of little talents. I think I wrote a couple down. Here's another one. For all you guys that are doing podcasts like we do, video work, little things like that, you can actually make $1. Let me see here. Repairs. Maybe you're a repair guy and you can do all kind of repairs, and maybe somebody has something they need done. Maybe you have tools with you. Just maybe you make things, crafts or whatever. Maybe you sell things. Just some kind of a little side hustle where you can maybe pick up $50 a week or whatever to help pay for your food out on the road. Just, something like that. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever really thought about that, but if you have a talent, heck, start up, get a little grill, and sell burgers out of your truck at the truck stop, little things like that. I guarantee you people would pay you for your little talents. And there's a ton of stuff you can do. Yeah, I'm serious. I would be making chicken soup, cup of soup for, $2.50.
Barbecue.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just saying there's all kind of little things. There's a lot of people that have different talents.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And when you have a different talent, it may be something somebody wants.
I think like probably a lot of drivers can use maybe like repairs to shirts or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Anything.
I know men know how to sew, especially men that were in the military. So, you know, a lot of drivers, they knock buttons off their shirts, and some of them just don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, and believe it or not, that may be something that's if there's a need out there and you can fulfill the need while you're out there driving on the side, why not a side hustle? Why not?
It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what I just thought I would suggest that to drivers out there. I've seen side hustles, and I don't mean selling, freight out the back of your trailer. That's my talent. But yeah, no, if you're looking to make a couple dollars, then there you go. Find your chi.
Well, not only do you, I mean, I'm sure there's many men out there that are solo drivers that can have a talent that they can showcase in some form, like you said, sharpening knives, or maybe they work with leather or something to that effect. But there's a lot of men that have their spouse with them or a woman with them that they can do something for a driver that's out there too.
Exactly.
And I'm not mean like don't be a pig, like those women could sew something, or they could be using they could be crocheting, and they have blankets that they could sell that some of the drivers out there are like, oh my gosh, my wife would love that blanket. You never know.
Yeah, anything. I mean, we're just suggesting things, but I'm sure there's a lot of people going, hey, I do have a talent. Use it. Why not? Don't be afraid to.
Everybody's got a talent. It's just a matter of finding out which one you have.
Anyways, that's what I wanted to suggest. We're back from Pennsylvania. We're doing our thing here. And like I said earlier, those that have requested to be on the show, sit tight. We just booked another one. And just, send us some emails. Mine's Troy at TalkCDL, Ruthann at TalkCDL. Just send us an email if you've got something that you want to be on the show with. If you want to send us something, any videos or anything like that, we'll get it edited and get it up for you. But definitely, we appreciate everything you guys do out there, the emails, the encouragements, everything that you do. And we definitely love having people on the show. And Ruthann, that's pretty much the podcast for the week.
Okie dokie dokie. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone that was giving prayers to my brother. I appreciate him.
Oh, awesome. Yes. So do you have the word of the day?
I do.
What do you got for us?
I actually have a word that is just right up your alley.
Let's hear it.
Gourmandize.
Let's hear that again.
Gourmandize.
Gourmandize.
Yep. Like gourmet, but it's GOURMANDIZE. Gourmandize.
So tell me what gourmandize means. Oh, and this is Word Genius. I like to mention these people. Go ahead.
Eat good food, especially to excess.
Oh, well, that's definitely me. And that's why I opened up with a recipe for everybody.
I didn't even think of that until just now when you said that. Yes, Troy is a foodie. If you haven't noticed it yet, you do now.
All right, we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.